Okay, so welcome to the next installment of the AL interview series. This week we are talking to Captain Emily Bassett. And the first question I have for you, Emily, is can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your personal leadership journey?
Sure. What a wide open question.
It is.
But I think that the part of my story that I think is most compelling for your audience and for our conversation today, really is the middle of my career. And there's all kinds of stories about why I started and how I got there. But I think the most interesting like pivot point I think I ever took in my life was really at the about 12-year mark, about halfway through my career. I've been in serving now for 23 years. Um, and I remember I was on shore duty. And so that means I had spent the previous about 10 years on ships, going from one ship to the next and promoting as one might from a division officer to a department head. And now I was on shore duty where I was in an office every day. And I was about ready. I just gotten selected to be the executive officer of a ship, which is, the number two in charge of that ship. And I had more time to read. I had more time to think because I was going to an office that had working hours that were predictable compared to the previous 10 years of my life.
Makes sense.
Um, and and it occurred to me this thought that sounds so simple, but I was like, oh my God, they're gonna know I'm a woman, and they're gonna expect me to know things about other women, and they're gonna expect me to like they're gonna act like, oh, you're an XO of a ship and you're a woman. Tell me, they're gonna ask me questions, and they're gonna know when I walk on board this ship that I'm a woman. And it sounds so simple, but like previous to that, I just was not even thinking. I was just literally showing up every day by day, just trying to get what was required of me done. And it
Mhm.
was only upon reflection and that I was preparing to go back to a very, very large leadership role, that I thought, gosh, I should find out like how other women think. And I should find out like, most of my friends are men. And I've mostly been around men. I'm a nuclear engineer. I'm working with mostly men. Women were only admitted to my program, my sub program. I have a specialty, my specialty program, while I was in college. So I had no women senior officers in my training. I had plenty of peers, but then when I found myself out to sea, I was usually the only woman, not always, but in general. And it didn't bother me. I didn't think about it. I was just too busy doing my job. But now that I was going to a very large a large ratio of leader to those led as the XO of a ship. So I started reading, and I came across Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. And that's, when that first came out, like 2012, when my friends gave it to me. And I was like, all right, great, let's do this. Let's start circles. Let me meet other women. Um, so that was really a pivot point in my career. And I would say that since that point, about 10 years ago, I've shifted my focus to connection and learning other people's stories and learning from how they do leadership, and kind of like what you're doing here. It's a really compelling nut to crack because you learn more from other people and hearing their story. And that didn't occur to me until halfway through my career.